All right, I believe the recording has started right now, hopefully. All right, good. Um, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you're joining us from. I can see a lot of engagement in the chat already, which is good. But just to confirm that you can see my screen right now, am I sharing my screen? Thumbs up if you can see Discipline Agile Meetup. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, everyone. So officially, welcome to the Discipline Agile Meetup, where we meet up here every single month. Now, I am just going to quickly go to the chat box. So if you're not there, looks like you are not here. Let me see. There are quite a number of people already telling us where they are joining us from. I'll just pick a few people. Kaijaj from Tanzania, thank you. I've got Abubakar from Kaduna, Nigeria. Adelaya from Lagos. Fonsain from Kigali, that's Rwanda, thank you. Lubega from Nairobi. And of course, we have Gashige from Tanzania, Josepha from Tanzania. Oh, I've got South Africa in the house. Azel from South Africa. Thank you so much for joining. Millicent from Ghana. Um, I can see a lot of other people. Kampala, Maureen from Kampala, Uganda. Thank you so much. Precious from Alberta, Canada. Thank you for joining. We've got Eunice from Nairobi, Kenya. Jean from Kigali, and of course, we've got a lot of people from Nigeria. Kenneth, thank you for joining from all the way from Saudi Arabia. I can go on and go on and on and on and on, but again, keep it coming. I can't go through every single person. However, I really want to say thank you for joining Nice and Haley. Thank you for joining Nice and Haley. And of course, my brother Patrick from Connecticut, USA. Thank you so much for joining as well. All right. Natalie, thanks for joining us as well as a speaker today. I will quickly go through the initial welcome and then we will take it from there. Um, Shagun, I believe you are on the call. If you can take us further to the introduction of the group, that would be great.
All right, thank you. I don't know if you can just help me go to the next screen. Oh,
Yeah,
good.
it's already
All
there.
right. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us from wherever you are joining. Um, we want to start with Why. Start with Why is a popular book by Simon Sinek. Okay. Just to tell you, objective of the group. So we are a dynamic community championing the true value of project management, leadership, emerging technology, lean, and other agile uh, practices. So our mission is simple. We want to empower professionals and organizations who want to strengthen their delivery capabilities. So that's the fact, delivery capabilities in and translating them into measurable outcomes or measurable results. We actively promote continuous learning transfer in project management, emerging technology, leadership, lean startup, and other lean approaches and practices. Our focus areas are project management, agile, and technology innovation. You're welcome. Okay, maybe the next slide. Yeah,
Yep.
thank you. And this Discipline Agile Meetup is brought to you by Lauren Consulting. So if you need any consulting engagements that has to do with leadership, agile, project management, you can contact laurenconsulting.com. Thank you, everyone. And let's do have a wonderful and engaging moment. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much, Shagun. And let's go on to introducing a wonderful speaker today, Jimo Samuel. All right, I think I'm just going to quickly do the introduction. All right, thank you so much for joining us today. It is my pleasure to welcome Natalie Becky Sena to our session today. A quick bio of Natalie before I even talk about what we want to talk about today. Basically, we just want to look at, regain your balance and strengthen your resilience to avoid stress and burnout. So Natalie is the founder of Project Management Life, PML for short. It's a community and platform dedicated to helping project leaders lead, perform, and live their best life. She has a passion for redefining what high performance looks like in today's demanding work environment. Natalie brings a human-centered perspective to modern project leadership that values both result and well-being. Of course, I've been on a couple of sessions that Natalie has led, and I can see that she's drawing for 20 over 25 years experience leading complex projects, working with diverse teams. She focuses on helping professionals like ourselves to navigate pressure, complexity, and constant change with greater clarity and resilience. By no doubt, work empowers leaders to move beyond reactive ways and towards more intentional, sustainable approaches to performance. She's currently support a global community of project professionals through her work with Project Management Life, and she's committed to growth, to balance, and to long-term success. I will say everyone, please welcome Natalie to our session today. I believe we are going to have a very wonderful time talking about how to regain our balance, how to strengthen our resilience to avoid stress and burnout. Over to you, Natalie.
First of all, what a warm welcome. I am so grateful to be here, and just to see the amount of folks that are on the call is just incredible. I'm actually located in Royal Oak, Michigan, in the U.S., but I'm from Canada, so I was excited to see a fellow Canadian on the call. So it is actually in the afternoon for me, and I recognize that it is in the evening for all of you, and you are on your personal time, and that is actually something I am incredibly grateful that you're spending that time with me today. I'm talking today about a topic that is something that is near and dear to my heart. As Pete mentioned, I've been in project management now. I literally just passed my 25 years just over a month ago, and it's just quite a milestone to hit, and to recognize that I've seen it all in terms of, from a project management perspective, people burning out, constant stress. The expectations on us continues to grow each and every year, and our responsibilities only continue to grow, right? It's not getting easier for us, it's getting more and more challenging. And so the fact that you're all here and that this topic resonated with you, I'm just so pleased to have all of you here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then we'll get started here momentarily. Pete, I do just want to do a call out and just say I'm so grateful for the invitation today. I know you have heard this presentation previously, and it resonated with you enough that you did want to bring this to your group. So I'm incredibly grateful. So thank you for that. So today is again really about regaining your balance and strengthening your resilience. You are all busy, busy folks, right? You're busy people. And there's a lot of expectations on you. And so in order for us to bring our best selves to our work, to our home lives as well, we need to be able to think about what strategies we can be putting in place to make sure that we are sustaining our health and well-being. We're continuing to maintain our personal and professional relationships and just overall be a well-rounded person. So Project Management Life is really around bringing that balance, talking about sustainable performance. How do we continue to bring our best selves and live our best life while we're still trying to be high performers in our role? So again, 25 years, I'm super excited about that. My background is in healthcare. And so I've literally spent 25 years either in sort of the nonprofit supporting patients that needed support, or in the hospital environment. And I can tell you that not only from a project management perspective, but I see from a patient perspective in the hospital setting, what happens when people get to a point of stress and pure burnout. It impacts your entire body. It impacts your health. It impacts your well-being. It impacts your life in so many ways. And so this is something that I'm, again, incredibly passionate about. And so when I launched Project Management Life, now just over a year and a half ago, it was really around growing a community of project managers that look at our lives more holistically and not just training and certification. I think that's an incredibly important part of it. And we need to continue to grow, but we also need to look more broadly and say, how do we take care of ourselves as well, right? So that is really kind of what I wanted to bring to the table today, and share that perspective. So let's just quickly touch on an agenda for today. So I really want to just introduce you to what is balance and resilience. What does it mean? And some key takeaways that we're going to really cover, and what I'm hoping you walk away with at the end of today's session. We're also going to talk about some common challenges during stressful times. So I'm expecting that at least some of these are going to resonate with you, and I'd love to get your feedback as we go. I'm going to invite you to leverage the chat throughout this entire session. And Pete, if there's something specific you see that you want to call out, I'll get you to just to jump in and shout and say, hey, what about this comment? Let's talk about this.
All right, beautiful. I will definitely be looking at the chart. I've got a couple of team members that will be looking at it as well, so we will
Awesome.
definitely call that out. I also want to encourage everyone, please, let's make it engaging through the chat
Mm.
message. So, yeah, let's have it. Cool.
Awesome. Sounds good. So what we'll also, now we're going to jump into some actual actionable tips and strategies that I want you to actually start leveraging, take away, see what resonates with you. I'm going to give you a whole slew of things. And then Pete and his team have a, a PDF takeaway with all of the content from today. I didn't want you to have to feel like, oh my gosh, this is so much to digest. And again, many of you are on your evenings, and so I want you to just sit back, enjoy, relax, recognize what resonates with you, and then you'll get this afterwards, so you can kind of really take some time and see what makes sense and what you can implement. We'll do a quick guided reflection at the end, and then again, the wrap up is just kind of next steps, and then the giveaway really is that package that will get into your hands. And Pete and team can tell you a little bit about how you'll get access to that. So let's go ahead. I want to just do a sense check, just a bit of a pulse check with the team here that's on the call. Tell me a little bit about, how do you feel about all of your commitments that you have coming up over the next coming weeks? Let's just look at it as a little slice in just the next few weeks. We've got summer coming for some of us. Uh, Not sure what you have planned over the next few weeks. Maybe your projects are, maybe you got projects kicking off. Maybe you got projects that you're trying to squeak by, and because they're full of number of challenges. But how are you feeling right now? A, calm, confident, I'm in control. B, I'm busy, but I'm mostly prepared. I've got some pressure points, but things are going. C, things are really heavy, tense. I'm feeling stretched and anxious. And D, I'm hoping no one's on the call that has this, but if you are my people, and I'm so glad you're on the call if you are. So complete overwhelm, stress, and overloaded, and help me. I need help. So I'm looking in the chat here. We've got a couple D's. Well, then you know what? I'm so glad you're here. I really hope that something here resonates with you and is helpful for all of my B's and C's. You are the norm. And then when it gets to the point where you get to point D, to letter D, that means you definitely need to figure out how we turn things around, right? You are out of balance. You've got so much coming at you. And again, we tend to be the glue. And I think this covers it in my next point. So let me kind of just go to the next one. We are the glue that holds all of our projects together.
Mm.
Things will fall apart if it's not for us, right? So everybody looks to us to keep things moving. We're often the face of our projects. Our stakeholders all want something different. They are all coming to us with different needs, and we're the ones that have to try to find that balance to make sure that we're keeping everyone happy, we're keeping everyone organized, we're keeping everyone informed. It is a lot on us. And so if you're feeling stretched or overwhelmed and you're more on that side of the spectrum, you're not alone. You are with your people here, right? I'm with my people here. We all are in this boat together. But here's the reality. There's lots of really great strategies. We do not have to always live in that world. The one thing I will say is it is normal to go from really, really kind of sustainable, things are going well, I feel like I've got good balance, to suddenly the next day feeling unbalanced and things feel really, really crazy. That is okay. That's normal to have that sort of cyclical part to what we do. But if you are in the constant craziness, you don't have a moment to think, you don't have time to think strategically, you're just constantly in reactive mode. If that's you all the time, every day, then this is where you really, really need that to kind of take a step back. And I'm so glad that you're here because you'll be able to hopefully take again a few things away from today to hopefully help you find that balance again. Again, you'll get back to that craziness and that's okay, but as long as it fluctuates, right? That is the goal of the work that we do. If we're in constant urgency, that's not sustainable. But if we're kind of going back and forth, crazy, less crazy, crazy, less crazy, then we're actually in a place where we can continue to sustain and still bring our best selves. So let's go ahead here and let's keep going here. Let's talk about what is balance and what is resilience. We'll just put a quick definition to it. So balance is the ability to manage your time, your energy, and all the commitments that you have in a way that feels sustainable, in a way that you don't feel like you're losing yourself, right? And sometimes again, that will happen, but it's finding those days where that's not the case. So you find that balance. Resilience, on the other hand, is when you can pick yourself back up after things have been crazy and after you feel like you've had a day where it's just like, I just want to crawl under the covers and just not get out of bed because of those crazy, crazy busy days that maybe everything was coming at you. Resilience is the capacity to recover, to refocus, and adapt when all of these challenges are coming at you. It's about recovering quickly when things start to feel heavy, when you've got all that weight on your shoulders. It's still being able to pick yourself up and being like, all right, let's keep going because we've got work to do and I'm in the right mental space to make sure that things move forward really, really well. Does that resonate with everyone? Can I just ask, just anyone ever feel like you've got those crazy, crazy days that I mentioned? All right. So let's go ahead. Yeah. Okay. It's not just me. I'm glad to hear that. All right. So let's talk about what ideal state looks like, right? And I've got my tea here to keep me going because this is something that brings me balance. So let's talk about balance really looks like when you've got really clear priorities and that you can actually manage versus when every stakeholder you're working with wants something different and they all want it at the same time and they want you to be working on their priority but you don't really understand, is this a priority or is this a priority, right? You need to understand that A is a higher priority than B so that you know where to focus your attention. That is part of balance. Balance is also about protecting your time and having space to recharge. If we are go, go, go constantly, but we don't have a couple hours or a day that's maybe a little slower to kind of recharge, that's not balance. But when we do create that protected personal time to sort of recover, that's what you're aiming to try to get to. You're trying to do work that fits within reasonable hours. Does anyone here ever feel like you're stuck working after hours? You're responding to emails, maybe a chat message comes in and you feel like you absolutely have to respond to it. Um, yeah, yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing, we tend to put ourselves in positions where we make ourselves always available. And that is a boundary issue that we need to talk about, right? Mental space to think, to breathe, and to make really good decisions. If we are in reactive mode all the time, it becomes very hard to actually think strategically and put the best decisions forward, right? We need to take the step back. We need to assess. We need to understand the options and then make an informed decision. It's hard to do that when we're go, 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 go constantly. A life where work and health can coexist, right? Still taking care of ourselves, not just work, 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 work. It's work, take care of ourselves. Work, take care of ourselves. We have to build that in. Um, Having the ability to honor our holidays, our traditions, our family time. If we're spending our weekends or our holidays, still responding because somebody's messaging us when we really should be focusing on our personal lives, again, another piece. Keeping our projects moving late at night and staying centered even with end of year expectations. So this is this is specifically thinking about more the holiday season at the end of the year. Everyone celebrates whatever is important to you and your family. That is where your attention absolutely should lie. And sometimes we get wrapped up and we got to keep the momentum going on our projects, right? So balance helps us stay steady. What's interesting is I have some lines here on my, I don't know if everyone else can see that. So I'll just ignore that. Just
Yeah,
ignore the
please
lines
just
if you're
ignore
seeing them.
ignore the lines.
Okay. So what does resilience look like now? Let's talk a little bit about this. So this is about, again, being able to pick yourself up after one of those crazy busy days. This is about bouncing back after a stressful day and then you've got a busy weekend, right? Maybe you're go 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 all the week over the weekend, and then gosh, it's Monday again, right? You start that hamster wheel all over again, and you didn't have the time to really relax. So being able to bounce back quickly, even if you're in that busy mode, is being resilient. It's staying steady through constant change and last minute surprises. I hate Mondays, actually. I love that. You know what? Many of us do. Many of us do. And you know what? It's normal just because, again, that just goes to show that you have constant stressors on you and you know that you're jumping back into those stressful moments all over again. So this is, again, really important that you're here and love that. It's knowing how to reset, not just push harder. It's responding thoughtfully instead of reactively. It's having the tools to bring you back to clarity and calm. So when life gets busy and starts accelerating, you have the ability to get back. Can't focus on concentrate on Mondays. Yeah, it is tough. It's tough because you just came back after hopefully time with your family and doing the things you love, and not just, dishes and cleaning the house and laundry and all of those things that come with weekends. But showing up as your best self, even during high pressure seasons and closing the year with clarity instead of exhaustion. So, resilience is all about bouncing back. It's all about having the ability to take that weight lift it off your shoulders and say, I'm going to keep going. Make sense? All right.
Sure.
Here's what I'm hoping you're going to take away. Sorry, please go ahead and jump in. I think I heard something. Okay.
Yeah, I guess Shagun was just responding to the fact that it makes sense to him.
Sounds good. Thank you. All
Yeah, it does.
right.
It does make sense. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, what we're going to dig into today is 5 key areas. We're going to talk about protecting your time and prioritizing it, especially when everything feels urgent. We're going to talk about setting clear boundaries. This is the for those of you that do respond to emails and messages late at night. I'm looking at all of you. This is about setting boundaries at home without feel at work and at home without feeling guilty. This is about simplifying and overwhelming demands. We already have a whole slew of great project management tools at our fingertips. Let's leverage them to simplify our lives, right? Incorporating realistic self-care and moments of joy into your daily routine. For me, it is my cup of tea. It is, and
Mm.
we'll talk about those types of things as well. But it could be little micro moments that I want you to see how you can build into your day. And then there's rest and recharge. So it's building in time for meaningful rest and reflection. And I want to simply state right up front, this isn't something that's a nice to have. This is something that you need in order to bring your best A game to the work that you do. You have to have that balance. So, all right, let's go ahead and delve a little bit deeper here. So some common challenges and stressors. So, first of all, when we have really high demands on all of us and there's so much going on, and we feel like we have limited control because, quite frankly, we don't have a lot of decision making authority. We're in that kind of role where we're influencing, and we're also depleting our energy because we're going nonstop. When we get that recipe that is merging all of those things together, we end up feeling a sense of overwhelm and pressure. And quite frankly, that is when we get to that risk of burnout. And that's what we want to, we don't want to get to that tipping point. So let's talk about 7 key challenges that I'm imagining are going to resonate with you. As you hear these, like I would love just tell me in the chat, does this resonate with you? Like which number resonates with you, right? So challenge number 1 is everything feels urgent all the time, right? There's all these competing priorities. Maybe you feel like you're in constant firefighting mode. There's just that level of urgency to everything. Everybody wants something from you and they wanted it yesterday. Like they'll come to you at the end of the day and be like, I need something like within the next 20 minutes. Can you put this presentation together? Or lack of clarity of what does done actually mean, right? This is the life of a project manager, right? Competing priorities for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So that's challenge number 1. We're going to add to that. Challenge number 2, too many inputs, too many things going on. We've got emails coming in all day long. We've got chat messages or chat pings that are popping up on our screen. We have status reports due every week or whatever cadence that you have at your organization. You're having meetings throughout the day, and they're not like they're all tidy in one day. They are smattered throughout your entire calendar throughout the week. So you're just constantly going. Your team is coming to you with questions. You've got a number of tools that you're trying to manage at any given time. Now add your home and personal commitments on top of that. Maybe you've got kids. Maybe you've got to take your kids to extracurricular activities. You've got a birthday party to go to. You've got a holiday gathering, whatever that might be. So many things are coming at us at any given time. Meetings, yeah, absolutely. And if you've been having those days where you've seen like literally 8 hours of meetings all day long, when do you get everything done, right? That's the challenge too, is how do you do all the follow-up that you know comes from that? So that's number 2. Now we're gonna compile with that number 3. So blurred boundaries. This is for the folks that I mentioned that like to reply late at night. So first of all, we tend to be people pleasers. I don't know if that
Mm.
resonates with anyone, but I am a self-proclaimed people pleaser, and it is something I am personally working on. But I will have always just conditioned myself, and this is where I have been working too on it, is if somebody asks you to do something, it's just one more thing. I'll take that on because it's just one more thing, even though my capacity was already full, right? Or work spills into the evenings. We often feel responsible for everything. We feel responsible for everyone's satisfaction in our projects. Or we have a culture within our teams where, everybody feels the need to be responsive, and it becomes hard to unplug because maybe your director, your leader is messaging you late at night, and so they expect you to reply, right? So there's a culture issue there. Yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like this is resonating with folks. Yeah, so it's not just me. Challenge number 4. We're going to add more to this. We're going to keep going here. So invisible workload. This is something that as project managers, project leaders, whatever methodology, I know this is specifically around agile, if you do lean, if you do hybrid, if you do waterfall, regardless, there is a component of the work that we do that is purely invisible. We cannot add it to a status report. That is when we've got challenges within our team and we have to smooth out that conflict. How do you write that in a status report, right? My team members were couldn't agree on something, or we're handling escalations. We're tracking all of the risks and dependencies within our projects. Maybe we've got a team member who isn't performing and we need to mentor them and get them to where we need them to be. Or we are seen as the face of the project, and so we need to sometimes shelter our team from some of the chaos that happens in terms of the politics within our organization, so we protect our team from that chaos. Or we're the emotional anchor for others. Any of these sound familiar? Right, you can't add these to a status report, so how do you actually account for that time, right? So a little bit more challenging. All right, now add on to it again. Now we're adding some high personal standards. We have high expectations of ourselves. We expect
Yeah.
that we bring, we're professionals. We want to bring the best to the work that we do. And so sometimes we have difficulty asking for help. Maybe it's just like we're going to figure it out because that's who we are, right? We have that problem, solving mindset, and so we don't always ask for help. Or we just hold ourselves again to impossible expectations. Things have to be perfect. So perfectionism is sometimes a challenge, especially if we're drafting a presentation. Instead of just getting something down on the slides, we maybe sometimes focus too much on each slide, just making sure it's
Oh,
perfect. Or it's just I'll take care of it. Somebody else on our team is not performing, and we jump in and we take on the work that we shouldn't be, right? So if that sounds familiar,
I think perfectionism is actually a something that most people really struggle with, you know.
yeah.
I just take care of it because someone is starting, is lagging behind, or they just don't want to ask for help. And it's really a challenge.
We all get each other. We're like we all have very similar personalities. Which is why we do the work that we do, right? It's like we gravitate towards this work, and this is one of the challenges we all experience. And so it's something that we just need to bring attention to. We need to call it out that, it's opportunities for us to improve. We also have a fear of disappointing others. So that's another piece. So, all right, we've got 2 more. Constant change and uncertainty. So I don't know about all of your work environments. I know that when COVID hit, for example, everybody shifted to working from home. or at least many organizations did that where you could. I was in the hospital setting, so we actually couldn't do that. I was often still going to the hospital, even though I did a lot of work from home. But now, things have slowly gravitated back towards either hybrid, or are you remote? Are you in person? There's just a lot of complexity that comes along with that. New tools and processes. We are always constantly learning and finding new ways to do the work that we do. Maybe the organizations that we work for, priorities change, right? We have our strategic plans, and maybe something is a high priority, but maybe budget doesn't allow for it, so we need to change priorities, or decisions come from our senior executives that says this is not a priority anymore, and we have to literally shift gears. So there's just constant uncertainty in the environment that we are in, and that I feel like continues to grow. It's just nothing ever gets more and more straightforward, at least in my experience. So now, final layer, number 7. All right, so now so that was all related to work. Now we're going
Mm.
to layer on all of our personal life on top of that, because guess what? Personal lives are just as complex as it is back in the office space, right? So we're trying to take care of ourselves. We're trying to care for others. Maybe you have aging parents. Maybe you have young children. Maybe financial stress is something that's part of the conversations that you're having at home. Health and well-being, your mental load. We just carry so much in our brains all the time. We have so much cognitive load that it becomes really, really challenging. Social gatherings and family needs and holidays. And then I mentioned earlier things like groceries and laundry and all of the dishes. Like these things don't go away. I wish that they would, but they don't. We still have to continue to live with those. So, all right. So now that we've kind of taken a look at that, I just want to ask you quickly, which stressor is your biggest challenge? Where do you feel, each of you, because I know you're all going to feel this differently, right? Even though we all experience a lot of the same experiences, what's your biggest challenge? I would love to see how folks feel about this. Number 2, number 1. So
Okay.
urgent, too many inputs, constant change. Okay, so that's something that you're experiencing in your organization. High personal standards. Yeah, yeah. I would imagine many of us are probably feeling that, and blurred boundaries, right? So everybody, I want you to just take a quick deep breath. I'm going to get everyone just to take a quick pause, because I don't know about you, but that just like elevates your blood, your blood pressure, right? Just listen to all those stresses. So I'm going to invite everyone just to take a second. Let's just do a one deep breath in and deep breath out, and then we'll move on into the strategy. So everyone do it with me. Deep breath in. Hold. Deep breath out. All right. Just the
That helped a
physical
lot.
reset. Really important. Sorry, Pete, go for it.
I said that deep breath actually helps a lot, even now.
Especially after talking about stress, right? We've just elevated again all of our blood pressure. So now let's talk about how we make things a little bit easier for all of us, right? And how are we for time here, Pete? Just quick check in.
Yeah, so we've got 15 minutes to the hour, but we can stretch it for another 10, 15.
Perfect.
So,
All right,
yeah.
sounds good. Let's go ahead and jump in. I've got a lot here to cover off. So I already kind of touched on what the key takeaways. So let's jump right into this. So let's talk about protecting your time. I'm going to give you a whole bunch of actionable tips. Again, all of this content is in that takeaway PDF booklet. So I'm going to invite everybody to identify one work and one personal priority every single morning, right? It's all about protecting your time and prioritizing. I'm going to invite you also to schedule 1 hour in your calendars every week. Do not put focus time because someone will block over that. I guarantee it. If you put no meetings, you are more likely to be able to protect that time, especially if others can see your calendars. Because if I see somebody that has just focus time, I'm like, I'm grabbing that time. You want to protect your time fiercely. That is something that I will repeat over and over. You'll probably hear that a few times throughout this presentation. Protect your time. So no meeting time slots within your calendars. You should also consider adding time in your calendars, just 30 minutes here and there, like for all those follow-up tasks. Remember when I said, like, if you got 8 hours of meetings, when do you have time to do everything? And then you're working into the evening because you've got all these follow-ups. Even if you have to, just put a 30-minute time block on your calendar on a regular basis to say, this is time for follow-up, right? And then try to protect it. If it gets moved around, that happens. Make sure your no meeting one, nobody touches that one. That one you want to really truly protect. When you can, shorten upcoming meetings. So if you've got a 1 hour meeting and you can do it in 45 minutes, give yourself that 15-minute period to do any follow-up and emails. Identify the time of day when you're at your highest mental energy. This one is, to me, one of the most important things that I want to stress today. We talk about time management. We don't really talk about energy management. I don't know about everyone in the call, but most of us, based on our circadian rhythm, we have our highest energy and mental clarity in the mornings, kind of
Mm.
mid-morning. And then by 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, your brain is kaput, right? Like you're trying to squeeze things in, think strategically, and yet you're at your lowest of the day. And so we really need to protect our time in the morning when we've got that best brain capacity, that best mental energy, and make sure that you're doing your most strategic work up front. Remember that everything takes longer than you expect.
Mm.
This is one thing that I keep feeling like I have to learn that lesson over and over again. But build in extra buffer time because things, again, always take longer. Um, Turn your communications on to do not disturb, even your phones, your cell phones, whatever it is, just for 30 minutes a day, right? No, not the world isn't going to collapse if somebody can't get a hold of you for 30 minutes. Leverage that time so that you've got that brain power to just focus and plow through whatever your most critical, highest priorities are for the day. Also find ways to automate repetitive tasks and create templates. So there's some really cool automation tools that are coming out, and with AI and all this stuff, um, there's opportunities for us to be more streamlined. And even if you are sending, batch all of your work. So if you're sending emails, do the delay send so it goes out when you want it to, but batch everything, and use a template so you're kind of using the same thing over and over again. So if you're sending the same status report week after week with using the same email, create a template, automate it, however you can do that. So I'll just get you to think about where there's opportunities there. So some tools, again, your calendar, you want to use that to leverage for time blocking and priority flagging anything that's high priority. Leverage automation tools. There's Power Automate for Microsoft if you're a PC user. Make.com. There's other web sites out there, and again, AI leverage that. The schedule send in your email. So if you type up an email in the morning, but you don't want it to go out until later, just use the schedule send so it goes out exactly when you want it to. So it comes through at 8 in the morning instead of responding back to your boss at 8 o'clock at night, right? Do the schedule send. So you can, even if you reply, you don't want to look like you're always available because you just set a precedent. Delegation and outsourcing. These are other things that we can think about. We've got teams. We should be delegating more to our teams and really putting trust in the folks that we're working with to get things done so everything's not falling on our shoulders. So I have 3 mindset shifts for you.
Yeah. Can
Here
I
we go.
quickly jump in,
Yeah,
Natalie?
please.
Now that we're
Yeah.
here, there are quite a number of comments in the chat
Awesome.
around the phone. Do not disturb for half an hour. It's actually surprising to see that people think it's scary because putting do not disturb for half an hour looks like they've missed most of the most important information of the day. What do you have to say to that?
Interesting. Okay. Well, I guess the so here's the thing. I think this is a mindset. I think this is something we've trained ourselves to believe that because we are, again, we're kind of the center of our projects, right? The world kind of revolves around us in our projects, that what the world's going to fall apart, right? And the reality is, if you are in the middle of a go live, please don't do that. Please don't put your phone on do not disturb. Use your judgment. But if you have a morning where you are leveraging some focus time, you've got some time blocked in your calendar, but then you leave your phone on and it's just pinging, bing, 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 bing the whole time, guess what? That hour that you've scheduled, you've just wasted, right?
Mm,
So use your judgment when it makes sense. If there's times where you're super busy and you know that people are trying to get a hold of you, but try to at least, here's my ask, once a week. Once a week during a focused time in your calendar, put your phone on do not disturb. It's going to feel uncomfortable, right?
mm,
It's going to feel very uncomfortable, but you have to train yourself. This is about training ourselves to do the right behaviors because we've trained ourselves the opposite. We've trained ourselves to be available all the time. Um, so I will encourage everyone to, again, use your best judgment when you can do this, but just try it once a week and see um, how your productivity soars when you've got less to do. So mindset shifts here. All right. Urgent to someone else does not automatically mean urgent to me.
mm,
Does that make
mm,
sense? Right?
mm,
Everybody's going to come at us. They're going to be in panic mode. How many of us often mirror that panic like, "Oh gosh, this is a big deal. We have to reply right away. We have to do this, we have to do that." Just because somebody else is feeling panicked, we should not be mirroring that, right? And everything that's urgent to someone else, we have to use our best judgment to say, is that truly urgent? Or do they feel like it is and it's actually this arbitrary date, like we need this by 4 o'clock, even though no one's going to do anything with it until tomorrow. So again, use your best judgment. You can do anything, but you can't do everything, right? We are very skilled people. We have fantastic skills. We can make pretty much anything happen. Right? That is one of the amazing things about project leaders, but we can't do everything all at once. So we really have to prioritize. So again, trying to reinforce the need for us to prioritize our time, protect our time. And when you protect your time, you're also protecting your performance. When you protect your time, you have the capacity to get your best work done. So again, that focused hour, if your phone is pinging the whole time, are you really delivering a solid, fantastic product when your attention was split over a number of different things, right? Just want everybody to sort of think about that. Think if that makes sense to you. All right, clear boundaries. So this is all about, again, setting boundaries at work and at home without feeling guilty. So when we're in stressful mode, we often say yes to things even if we don't have the energy or the time to do it, right? We just feel the sense of obligation where we have to say yes. And so one of the things, this is going to feel incredibly uncomfortable again. I'm going to push all of you today, right? I'm going to make you feel really uncomfortable, I guess. I'm going to invite you to at least 2 days a week, 2 nights a week. Start there, right? Start small. Do not respond to anything after your normal hours. This is just to get you comfortable, get you like try it out. See if you can, right? Baby steps. um, Set physical boundaries. Here's the other thing. Depending on what your work environment is, if you are in a more open environment where you've got desks all sitting beside each other, it can be very challenging to focus, right? Because people walk by, they stop by your desk, those types of things. Consider how you can set physical boundaries. If you can't close a door, think about putting a sign on your cubicle that you're having focus time, right? Please don't disturb me until 2:30 p.m. or whatever that might be. Or again, set your devices to do not disturb for a short little while. Wear noise canceling headphones. If you have headphones on and you're working, most people will not disturb you because they don't know whether you're in focus time or they don't know if you're on a call, right? So that will help mitigate some of the disturbances that you might get. So that's just kind of one physical way that you can set a boundary. Here's the other thing that we don't talk about enough is boundary scripts. It is having something at the ready. So when someone asks you to do something, that you are already have a response. It could be like, "Oh, I'd love to take that on. Yeah, I can take that on, but I'm fully tied up this week. I can take it on next week." Right? It's all about I would love to, but not until then. Or I'm currently focused on a high priority deadline. What's the timeline on your request, right? Understand it before you say yes. Here's the big kicker, right? We love to say yes to things. Again, people pleasers. It's about pausing and asking more questions, getting a better understanding before we just jump to, yes, I'll take that on. Or this is the part that will feel most uncomfortable. I won't be able to take this one on. I don't have the capacity, but who else on the team can help with this? And then you can help navigate them to another person, but we don't have to feel like we have to take everything on. So I'm going to keep plowing through here because we've got lots of tips here, and I'm hoping some of these are resonating with you, even if you're like, oh gosh, that feels really uncomfortable. But again, I'm here to push today. So some tools. Auto email replies to set expectations around response times. Here's another thing. Many of us feel when an email comes through, we need to respond to it immediately. We could be in the middle of something and a message will come through and it's like, I'm going to drop everything I'm doing and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to respond, right? Instead of finishing what we're doing and getting to it maybe in 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour, sometimes even just having an auto reply email that's saying, I'm having a busy day. I'm focusing on an initiative. I will respond within 3 hours or something like that, right? It's just something we can consider. It's a tool at our disposal that we don't leverage. Using our calendar again for blocking things like even personal life things. So this could be even in the evening, right? Just use your calendar more efficiently, whether it's exercise, family time, errands, whatever that might be. I will invite you to think about what kind of boundary scripts you can write so that, again, you have them at the ready. So if somebody asks you, again, it just gives you that moment to step back and say, thanks for asking. Let me check my capacity. I'll get back to you shortly, or whatever that might be. But just think about what you can say the next time somebody comes to you with an urgent request or even a non-urgent request. How are you going to respond to that? Quick mindset shifts. All right, so saying no does not mean, saying no to one thing means you get to say yes to something more important, right? There's always going to be more requests that come our way. So if we say no to something that we feel like it's just not the highest priority for us, that frees up our capacity to now take on something that is more important. You are not required to solve every problem, right? We do not have to be the problem solvers for everyone and everything. So that is a mindset shift that I think many of us need to go through. The other thing is rest isn't something you earn, it's something you need to sustain your performance. I mentioned this earlier, right? You need to build that into your schedule. So if you are responding to emails all night, and then you have to go back to work first thing in the morning. When did you actually recover? When did you have that downtime? You didn't, right? So you need to set those boundaries and stay firm with them, even if it feels uncomfortable. So again, my request, 2 days a week, just try no responses after, whether it's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you decide what your normal work hours are and give that a try. So that's my homework for you. All right. So
Natalie,
yes,
just giving you time check. We just got to the hour now, so
all right. So maybe
10,
10 more
15
minutes.
minutes. 10,
Perfect. All
15
right.
minutes, yeah.
Sounds good. All right. So simplifying demands using PM tools, right? So thinking about all of your personal life, right? We've got our to-do lists for work, but we also have a probably laundry list of to-do lists at home too. So keeping things really visual, whether it's a Kanban board or something like that, so we can see everything, right? We've got sort of a central place where we can track all of our tasks and to-dos, right? Maybe we've got a board that is specifically for work. We've got one specifically for family logistics, home maintenance, holiday commitments, right? Think about how you would want to use it. Just do it however, whatever makes sense, but try to track everything all in one place so that everything's visual. You can always see what all the different things that you've got going on. Break down big tasks into micro steps, right? Things that can be done in 10 minutes that are maybe, if you have something that feels overwhelming, take the first baby step, right? That's all you need to ask yourself to do is what's the first thing that you can do. Think about weekly planning, either every Friday or maybe it's Sunday, just so that you can eliminate all of the chaos that happens when we're all staying on Monday, or when we're starting our days on Monday, right? How do we eliminate that chaos? Maybe it's just creating a to-do list. These are my highest priorities for the week. Again, I mentioned already templates, but think about your repeatable tasks and put them into templated checklists, right? Just to make life easy. It's one less thing that mentally you have to think about. So again, what I was trying to refer to was like a personal command center, right? You've got all of your to-dos for work, for home, for for family, etc., all in one location. Think about personal checklists. And here's my mindset shifts for this. If everything is a priority, then nothing's a priority. Remember I mentioned earlier, I was like, it's our stakeholders all want the same thing. Is A or B a higher priority? We have to figure that out, because if we cannot split ourselves evenly across everything that's going on, we have to decide what's a higher priority. And progress over perfection. All right, this one to me is incredibly important, that I would love for you to find ways that you can build in self-care and moments of joy into your daily routine, right? So I mentioned my cup of tea a couple times here. One of the things that you can do is, many of you probably have some sort of transit to work, whether you're driving, whether you're taking a subway, whether you're taking a train, whatever that might be. That's time that you can leverage. That could be where you listen to a mindfulness app. There's things out there like Calm. Maybe it's a music playlist, or maybe it is something like, maybe it's just listening to a YouTube documentary or something, right? It's time for yourself. It is, or if you can, build in some movement and stretching, right? So if you're sitting in an airport and you're just sitting the entire time while you're waiting for your plane, versus get up, move around, stretch, whatever you need to do, it's about finding little moments of self-care. Micro joy moments. So whether it is maybe just putting your favorite song on, right? Maybe it makes you feel good. Put that on. Maybe it's a deep stretch. It's a deep breath. Again, I've got cup of tea on there. I don't know all the tea lovers, or if it's a cup of coffee in the morning, if that brings you joy, then absolutely get the best coffee you can and absolutely enjoy it, right? And get movement in while you're tackling other tasks. So There are things like under desk treadmills, or if you have a stairs at your office, take that instead of the elevator. Stretch between meetings, or remember we did that quick breath? Do that between each meeting, right? Just one deep breath just to reset. It gives you that quick mental reset before you move to the next stressful piece. All right. So some tools: set consistent bedtimes. Think about music playlists or an audio journey. We've got really great audio journeys where Pete, you may remember at the conference that we did for the Bahamas, I did one of the audio journeys there. We have a 5-pack that's coming out soon. I'm super excited about it. But it's a way to mentally reset throughout the day for, at different times of the day. I'm super excited. Take a warm shower, slow breaths, drink water, light stretching. Oh, this one I love: stand by a window or go outside and just get some fresh air and natural light. Like, just that resets your body. It resets your energy and your mind and your capacity. It is just a great way just to give yourself a little energy boost throughout the day. But find ways to do little mini weekly rituals. And my mindset shifts for this is self-care is a system, not a one-time event. Think about how you build this in. So again, the joy list or whatever that needs to be. And joy is fuel for productivity. It's not a reward, right? Don't think about this as a reward system. This is something you should be building in to, again, find balance and build your resilience, right? That is what we're doing all of this for. All right, last section, and I've got 5 minutes or so left, so I'm gonna just manage myself here for the time. So this is where we're gonna build in some rest and reflection. We're gonna talk a little bit about scheduling evening offline hours, right? So this is where I remember I mentioned 2 days a week where I'm gonna invite you to not respond to messages, no emails, no chat messages. That's your offline hours, even if you have to schedule it, and create some sort of routine that you can build into those days, right? Maybe you're not avoid scrolling on your phone all night. Many of us, we get in a habit, right? These things are addictive. So find a book, read, journal, have a warm beverage, whatever you need to do, but find a relaxing routine that works for you, and build that in at least, once or twice a week where you've just got that time to yourself. Build in a weekly reflection as well. How did things go? What drained my energy? Right? What fueled me? Maybe there's certain activities that you're like, oh, I love that that made me feel really good. And then there's other things, and it's like, remember the Monday conversation that we had earlier? Like, oh gosh, I hate Mondays. um, you know, think about, what was it about those Mondays? What is it about Mondays that make you feel that way, right? Let's get to the root cause of it and reflect on that each week. And how can we make Mondays maybe a little bit more palatable? Um, Front load your weekend errands and commitments. So remember we talked about groceries and laundry and all that stuff. Try to get all that done up front so that you've got a full day to rest, to visit with loved ones, to spend time out in nature, whatever it is that makes you feel fulfilled. But try to front load all of your tasks that you have. Here's the other thing that I mentioned: we have a high cognitive load. I mentioned this when we talked about the challenges earlier. We always have a lot on our brains, a lot on our minds all the time, right? We're constantly thinking. One of the things, I've talked to many project managers that are like, I'm up at 3 in the morning because I'm thinking about what I have to do tomorrow, and something wakes me up and I'm stressed out. Keep a notepad or set of post-it notes or something right beside your bed, or a journal. Every time, maybe before bed, or if you wake up at 3 in the morning, write down all of what's on your mind. And because as soon as you write it down, it reduces that cognitive load and allows you to sleep. So think about that. Again, turn off all of your devices, maybe 30 minutes before bed, right? Grab a book instead. We often spend too much time at night scrolling on our phones. It prevents us from having meaningful sleep, and really getting that true rest and relaxation before we start the journey all over again. So my mindset shifts for you: reflection turns experience into wisdom. and rest is a responsibility, not an indulgence. So, um, here's my guided reflection, and you don't have to answer it, but I want you just to think about it. What's one small shift you feel you can make in the next week to protect your time or energy? Which strategy today feels the most achievable in your life right now, right? We're all going to look at this from a different perspective. And where are you currently overextended and what can you let go of? But here's my micro action plan for all of you. I've already given you some homework, but here's my additional things. One, block 1 hour in your calendar for next week. And again, call it no meetings. Protect that time fiercely, right? That's my ask of you. Choose one non-negotiable for your well-being tonight. Again, many of you it's already your evening. After this, I would love for you to, whether it's take a quick walk, have a hot bath, journal, enjoy a cup of tea, whatever it is, but find something to take care of yourself tonight. Select one work and one personal priority for the rest of for your day tomorrow, and incorporate one self-care strategy for this weekend. If you can accomplish those, I think you're already on your way to finding better balance and regaining some of your resilience. So just quick project management life. We're here really to support project managers to live their best life, both personally and professionally. We want you to thrive, not just training and certifications. I want you to think about this holistically. We do have, if you want to go even further, we've got a 28-day email challenge that is available to you. If you can check out our website if you're interested. Our website is projectmanagementlife.org. So easy for you to find us and learn a little bit more. And I will open it up for any questions or Pete and team, I will turn it back over to you. And I am incredibly grateful for all of you spending this time with me, and whether it's your afternoon or your evening. Thank you for spending this time and investing in yourself.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Natalie, this is loaded. This is loaded. Thank you so much. It is one of the topics that really resonates with, I believe, every single person in this community, because of the kind of role that we hold in our, organizations, even in our personal lives. You have actually given us very good tips in these really sessions. So we can't thank you enough. You can see the clap going on over there. So a lot of people really like what you have shared with us. I'm guilty of several of this. This is not the first time I'm hearing this from you, and every time I hear this from you, I pick a new thing that I need to improve on. One of it is my study is just by the window. All I need to do is to move the blinds and let the rays of sun be on me, light. I forget. That's
100%.
it. I want to do it, but I just forget. But I will definitely take steps to do that right now. So, guys, I just really, first of all, want you to connect with Natalie. There are a lot of good things on project management life. Take advantage of those things. There was growing up, there was one advert I love. If I don't take care of them, who will? This time around, if you don't take care of you, who will? So based on that, the good thing is you have help that you need around. Now, this is what we're going to do. There are two questions currently that I want us to look at. And if you have questions, send them through. However, we may not be able to attend to all of these questions, but again, we will try our best. Now, let me really look at the first one. I think it came out from when you share that choose one thing, one task that you like to do in a day. Someone has said, assume you have many things to deliver in a day. How will one task help that day? So maybe you want to throw more light about what you mean. Most of the time, what we want to do is much more than, the task of the day is actually much more than one.
So, so just to repeat the question, so it's just in terms of picking one thing that you can sorry, do you
So,
mind rephrasing the question?
assuming you have many tasks to deliver in a day, how will
Okay.
you choose one that you will focus on in that day?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that question. Okay. All right. First of all, we sometimes, so this again is where we forget to ask for help, right? We often feel sometimes the need to prioritize everything ourselves when we have stakeholders that have these expectations on us. So there's no reason why sometimes we can't ask our stakeholders, our sponsors, our steering committees, our whoever we're working with, what is a greater priority for them, right? I have limited amount of time today. Where can I spend my energy best in order to move the highest priorities forward? So that's kind of one thing. Two, I think the reality is we're always going to have multiple tasks. What so think about what's coming up in your projects in terms of your milestones, right? What is going to move the needle for your next milestone? If it's something that is for something further down the road, push that off, a little bit, right? Prioritize whatever the highest priority is based on what's coming up, what's being expected of you from your stakeholders, what your schedule is, your project schedules are telling you are the highest priorities. A lot of times that tells you for you, right? It's based on, or if you have a meeting coming up that you have to prepare for, that's coming up at 3 o'clock and it's 2 o'clock, right? You know your highest priority is to get ready for that 3 o'clock meeting versus something that's coming up at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So just you have to use your best judgment. There's no perfect answer, but we really just need to use our discretion to say, here's my list of 20 things that I have ongoing right now, and I'm going to circle the three things that are going to really move the needle or the highest priorities for today. That's where, like, if you can even pick one priority per day to say, if I get this done, I feel like I've accomplished something. Because the worst thing that can happen is when you've got a full day, a full list of action items, and the end of the day comes and you didn't touch a single one of them. That's the worst feeling. So
I understand
long,
that, and I know
long-winded.
yeah, it's just the conflict that comes with urgency and also importance of the task. So I think the best person to make that judgment is you as a person to know what is the most important first one task or top three tasks that you want to do in a day. Cool.
And by protecting your time, you'll have the time to do it, right? So not trying to squeeze it in between meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting. It's up to you to protect your time and then pick 1 to 3 items. I'm going to focus on that in my hour where nobody's going to disturb me, right? That's the hope. That's what I'm inviting everyone to try.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well said. Now, before I go to the next question, I just want to mention to everyone that I'm going to share the PDU right after the Q&A. Just so please stay around. We're going to send that across. And also, there's a checklist that Natalie has kindly put together for our community. We will also be sending that across after the session. Once we send the recording, it could be a couple of days, but you will receive it. Now, Natalie, the next question
Yeah.
is, in a role where your phone is a primary tool for communications with colleagues and clients, putting it on do not disturb all the time is usually not advisable because you may miss important calls and create delays in communication. Please advise.
Yeah. So this is where I said you have to use your discretion, right? Especially if you're, I like I said, don't if you're in a go live, you've got a go live coming up the next 24 hours, don't put your phone on do not disturb. This is where you really need to use your discretion. If you and think about the hours of your availability, right? So if you are again, setting the right expectation with all of the stakeholders you're working with, your clients, those types of things. Please reach out to me between the hours of this and this to get a hold of me. If you reach out to me outside of those office hours, it may take me a little bit longer to get back to you. Set that expectation, right? Like we have to stop making ourselves available 24/7. Would we
Mm,
respond back at 3 in the morning?
mm,
No, probably not, right? We have to set, because that's a reasonable expectation. Would we respond back at 7 at night? That's up to
mm,
you to say whether or not that's reasonable or not. So, and maybe it's the first half hour of the day. Would you make yourself available every single day, 24 hours? No. So just again, use your discretion. It could be based on what stage your project's at. It could be just a matter of setting whether it's a auto reply on your email
yeah.
or a message on your phone that says, "Thanks for reaching out. I've received your message. I will get back to you in the next 45 minutes," right?
Mm,
Instead of, "I'm going to call you right back."
mm,
Let it go to voicemail. If, but again, if you are in the middle of a go live or something critical is happening, don't do that. But if it's just a standard every day, um, use your discretion and figure out, is there time or dates where you can do that reasonably, where again the world isn't falling apart.
mm, mm.
We have to we
Beautiful.
have to train ourselves to do that. That feels really uncomfortable. And it is an
Exactly.
expectation we set on ourselves to be available 24/7. And that is something that's a habit that we have to break, because when we don't, we set the expectation that we're just always available, and that sets a precedent. So I'm
Yeah.
challenging all of you.
Exactly. And I would say put it on the micro action that you were gonna do for the next 7 days. Try it out. You okay? Try it out and make sure that, yeah, if it's not going to break things, middle of the go live, not advisable, but in your day-to-day activity, your business as usual, put a do not disturb. Try for 1 day in a week, 1 day in a fortnight. See how it goes. If nothing breaks, try increase it over time. So, and that's what we are talking about. There is one more question I would like to talk about, but
Yep.
I'm looking at time because I want to also close in the next
Mm-hmm.
9 minutes thereabout. But yeah, maybe I can just quickly do it. Maybe a 1 minute answer will be good. So um our finance manager literally sent messages, that she needs urgent response via email, and sometimes it's around 9 p.m. our time. What do you say to that? Can this person attend to this?
So I guess the question is that the culture that's been set within your organization from your leadership? That is a conversation I would definitely have with your leader, to say, am I truly expected to reply at 9 o'clock at night?
Mm,
And again, it's a conversation that you need to have with stakeholders. Here's the thing, like we have a voice in this, right? We are the leads of these projects. We set the tone, and if we're just allowing that, right, then we're just going to continue to see that behavior over and over again. Sometimes we have to train other people what the appropriate behavior is.
mm,
Now, if it's truly urgent and this is happening once every 6 months, so be it, right? You respond back, it happens. But if there's 9 o'clock urgent emails or requests every night or once a week or something like that, then there's a conversation that needs to happen. And we have to be brave enough and have the courage to have those conversations, because that's not appropriate behavior. It doesn't matter what organization you're in. I mean, unless you're, saving lives, and it's there really truly isn't anything urgent that needs to happen at 9 o'clock at night that it can't be solved at 8 o'clock in the morning the next day. So
yeah,
have the conversations. We need to be brave and be courageous and have those discussions.
exactly, exactly. Thank you so much. And that's the first step in breaking, boundaries, like you really mentioned. So thank you so much. There are so many amazing comments. I can't really read them all, but everything is saying thank you, Natalie. Great presentation, Natalie. We love it as a community. Just to let you know, this session also we reached our capacity almost throughout the session. So it is a very popular session. So thank you, Natalie, for bringing this to us.
I am so grateful. Thank you all for spending that time with me tonight. I appreciate it. So lovely to have all of you. Please reach out. I would love to have you either add me on LinkedIn, follow PML, visit our website, but would love to continue the conversation and support you however I can. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Natalie. Right, moving on, guys. The PDU claim code is on the screen, and my team member has actually also sent a in the chat message. Please copy it from the chat and save it so that you can claim it after this session, so that you can claim it after this session. The PDU code is on the screen and it's also in the chat. Please, if you can post it multiple times in the chat, that would be good for people to really have it because people are constantly posting in the chat. Thank you so much, Palladios and team. All right, beautiful. Now, next month, what do we have? What do we have? We are going to talk about the cost of silence. What do you pay for when you don't have those difficult conversations? Now, we are talking about some of the soft skills, power skills, because as a community, you ask for it in February when we had our town hall. Now it is our time to now begin to have amazing conversation, just like the one we have tonight with Natalie. So let's come here, 15th of July, to talk about the real cost of silence. We need to start calculating the ROI of having those difficult conversations. What are you actually paying for when you don't have those conversations when you need to have it? So make it a date. Looking forward to having you during that time. And again, one of the things I'm happy about is certain people, good community members, have been sending their LinkedIn, links in the chat. Let's connect to each other. That is why we have a community. And please, a lot of you are not connected with me as well. Please connect with me so that we can actually communicate, collaborate on LinkedIn as well. That is really good. So if you scan the QR code, I believe that should work and take you to my page. So you can just click on connect and then we'll take it from there. Okay, cool. So that is that. Team, if you can also copy the social media handles and post it in the chat so that people can also follow us on YouTube, that'll be fine because we have quite a number of people that visit and they watch the videos, but they don't subscribe. So if you can do that, that will also be good. We will continue to put videos and recordings like these on the YouTube channel. And again, that's a commitment for us. It's a commitment for us. We will continue to show up here third Wednesday of every month, 8 p.m. Western African time. So let's continue to be here. We look forward to always having you. And that is where we are going to close our session today. Yeah, you will agree with me that this has been a very informative session. Thank you again, Natalie. But I also want to say a very big thank you to a certain set of people. Those are the volunteers, the people that make these very seamless, and they are doing a lot of amazing work behind the scene. You won't see some of them, you will hear the voice of some of them in the session, but I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all you do behind the scene. Thank you so much. So, Natalie, any parting shot for you? Even if it's just say bye bye, that's okay.
Again, I'm just super grateful for all of you. I truly hope that you pick one or two things from today. I know I threw a lot at you. Take the PDF that comes your way and digest it a little bit more. And I'm going to invite you just baby steps, one thing at a time. Just incorporate and find more balance in your life. I truly hope that these are steps and strategies that can make your life a little bit easier. And maybe one day you'll look forward to Mondays. Maybe
Maybe
not,
one
but
day you look
baby
forward
steps.
to Monday, and that's a very, 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 very good place to stop today. Thank you so much. I'll see you on 15th of July. Have a good one. Bye for
Have
now.
a wonderful night, all.